Hi, today we're going to ink a block. It is a no-ton block, and I'll talk to you a little bit about no-ton in the process. And we're going to talk about ink mixing, inking the block properly, and then we're going to print it 4 up on one piece of paper. Okay? So here is a caulking gun. It can be found at any hardware store, and it has a trigger down at the bottom. Sits in like that. You fit the nose into the top where there is that open slot, and then press on the trigger at the bottom, push the back handle up to put pressure on the back, and then you just use the trigger in order to dispense. So you just give it a little bit of a squeeze, and that'll put out your ink, or in this case, Easy Wipe, which is an ink modifier. Then you release with the trigger, pull it out, and I just hit it so it starts to flow back and gets rid of the pressure that's been on the back of it. You open the can, and then when you're taking the ink out of the can, you go across the top surface to keep everything smooth. So you don't gouge like peanut butter. You want to ice it almost like the top of a cake. And then you take your ink out and put it on your glass. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a big skin on the top, and that dries, and then if you gouge into that, then all that dried ink will get mixed up with your good ink, and you'll have these little pieces of dried ink that make rolling out very difficult. Okay, so Easy Wipe is in order to modify your ink and change the viscosity of it to reduce its tack. So I'm going to mix a little bit of Easy Wipe in here. Just to soften it. And then I use these palette knives, and they have a little bit of a flexibility. This one is actually a little stiffer than some of mine, but you don't want to get the stiff ones that are really stiff, because then you really have a hard time really mixing your ink. And I get these at Habitat for Humanity, my favorite shopping stops. Take your ink, it's all mixed up, and then you draw it out into a very smooth, as even as possible well, and then you start rolling it out onto your roller and create what's called a slab. It's important to listen to the sound of your ink. If you have too much ink, it'll be too noisy. But you want it to have a little bit of sound, kind of a hissing sound. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and start inking up this block. So we're printing the part that has not been carved away, so that's what we're inking. So you want to keep your roller up on those higher surfaces. I like these 4-inch rollers. A lot of control with those. They come in 6-inch and 2-inch. 4-inch are my favorite. So I finished inking, but because this is the first time this block has been printed, I'm going to do a quick newsprint proof, and then I'm going to recharge it up, and then I'll go to the 4 up printing.